Okay, so I'm going to be talking about the believing. Um, so can everyone please open their Bibles to John 19 verses 25 to 27. Now there stood by the cross of Jesus his mother and his mother's sister, Mary the wife of Clopas, and Mary Magdalene. When Jesus therefore saw his mother and the disciple whom he loved standing by, he said to his mother, "Woman, behold your son." Then he said to the disciple, "Behold your mother." And from that hour, the disciple took her to his own home. So basically, what this verse means is Jesus is on the cross. Mary is standing next to the cross, and so is John. Jesus tells John to take Mary away to his house. So let's talk about John. When all the disciples fled when Jesus was crucified, the only disciple who stood by the cross was John. John's faith allowed him to overcome all the challenges most disciples faced. He could have been severely punished for even knowing John, yet he confidently stood next to the cross without fearing the consequences. So Mary, okay. When Jesus saw his mother standing next to the cross, he told Mary to leave with John and to go home. Mary obeys Jesus and leaves. But why would Mary leave her dying son? It's not usual to see a mother leave her child, especially when they're in pain. But the reason why Mary does this is because she knows and understands that there is a reason behind what Jesus says. She can question Jesus because Jesus is a son, but she chooses not to because she believes that Jesus is doing the right thing to fulfill God's will. So how does John and Mary feel? Well, John and Mary knew Jesus personally and had a close relationship with Jesus. But most importantly, they also knew that Jesus was the Messiah. So it would have been very upsetting and perhaps challenging for them to see their hopes be crushed in front of their eyes. Most people would have given up and thought, what's the point in believing in this man who's dying on the cross? But the amount of obedience and faith John and Mary had on Jesus to then leave and go home was really amazing. So talking about the centurion. So we're going to read this verse from the Bible. So when the centurion saw that what had happened, he glorified God, saying, "Certainly this was a righteous man." So essentially what happened here was the centurion saw darkness fall and heard Jesus speak to God. He immediately believed that Jesus was the Son of God. Just to make it clear, the centurion was the guard standing next to the cross of Jesus. So obviously the centurion probably had witnessed many crucifixions in his lifetime. But why would he believe in someone just because of some weather change and him speaking? Well, this is because he's never seen or experienced anything like this, but also the fact Jesus was so confident and so calm, and he looked like he had control of the whole situation. The thief. So the thief who was crucified on the cross next to Jesus believed in Jesus. He didn't look at Jesus' physical appearance or natural state, but solely believed in Jesus and his words. So how does this relate to us? Well, most of us don't trust God fully. We don't realize it, but we usually trust our own strengths and judge a situation from our own perspective. We don't allow God to intervene or have control in our lives as much. Well, this is because of the lack of trust and belief we have in Jesus. Well, Mary didn't know that Jesus was going to rise from the dead. She had no clue at all. But she blindly trusted God, trusted Jesus, and and the outcome was positive. We need to trust and believe in God, just like these four characters did, because God has a plan and purpose for each one of us in our lives. And all you got to do is believe.